Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Jen from Scrap and Posh, and we are going to finish up our book Nook today. So first thing I want to address is I glued this on crooked, but you know what? You're not going to be able to tell. So yeah, today we're going to do some details, and this is an Artistic Studio Creation ASC Supplies on Etsy Design Team project. So head on over to ASC Supplies. ASC Supplies on ASC Supplies on Etsy or ASCCraftSupply.com, and I'll leave all links in the description below. Use Scrapping Posh 10 for a 10% discount on everything that is not on sale. Your non-regular price items and shipping is free over $75. Okay, so I added a little ledge to my Flourish and Blotts there, and I will show you why. Today we're going to add detail. And I have printed some things off. And this is totally optional because honestly you don't see it. I showed you these before. These are the backgrounds, so we'll get into that. This is the final video, so. But if you want books for your Flourish and Blotts books, my daughter calls it clutter. I'm not going to use this image here. I had an idea, but it wasn't as great of an idea as I thought it was. So here I just have some newspapers, a poster, there's Lockhart, and some books. So really, for what it's worth, I'm going to cut out both of these posters. One of them I think I'm going to put on the side of the building. So I'm going to cut these out. And cut this out. I'm just trying to get rid of my giant piece of paper here. And the newspapers, which I don't even think you'll see, but we'll make decisions about these as we go. Okay. Before I get too far into this, let's go ahead and put our first layer on some of these signs. These are the signs that hang in off of the buildings. So let's do I'm going to get my fingers dirty here. Let's see. I'm going to push this off to the side. Here we go. So you want the sign to be a lighter color, and whatever text or picture or whatever you're going to draw on it to be the contrasting color so that you can see it. So here's one. And then I have two of each so that I can just I don't have to flip it over, and I can sandwich whatever method I choose to hang them between the two. So there's one. I'll find a similar one here and here. Let's do these yellow. That'll be fun. Yellow mixed with the brown that I didn't wash my brush for. And yellow. side's going to be a little more yellow. Okay. And I just want these to dry so that I don't have very many colors out. I'll do a green. Something rings. For some reason I have no antique, those things, whatever they are. Jump rings, that's what they're called. Let's see, everybody just cringed through that whole thing. Okay, and turn it over. Okay, so that's all painted. We'll have to wait for it to dry. I got some string. And I got some chain, but I don't have to do anything with that. So we'll let that dry for a second while we cut these out. So Lockhart here on this poster I think he needs a little more support, so I'm going to get one of my extra pieces. I'll show you this real quick before I throw it out. These are all the extra pieces. Some of them are cutouts from the windows, but a lot of them I just stuck in there so that you had plenty to work with. So if you get the kit, you get more than what you need. Don't be confused by it. It's always better to have a little extra than not enough. I'm going to put him on just something to make it a little more stiff. Okay. And then I'm going to cut just a triangle. It doesn't have to be a very big one. And I'm going to stick it on the back of this like a little picture frame holder. Just like that. Hang on. So that when I put it in the window, it stays up. This one I think I'm going to put on the side of Flourish and Blotts that you probably won't even see, but I'm going to do it anyways. With the Death Eater mark. And then let's cut out a couple of these little books. And these are just little book covers that I found online. They're scaled down a lot. The entire book cover, front and back and spine, measures about 5/8. We're just going to fold those in half and then fold the other side of the spine, so a little bit less than in half. And if you want to put some little pieces of paper in there to give it some volume, you can. I have some little pieces of coffee stirrer. That is going to be easier for me to use. One coffee stirrer per. Two coffee stirrers per. I'm going to say is that, oh, I didn't realize I had 3 different books, okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna, you can use what, like I said, whatever, if you got chipboard left over from cutting the box, use that. That's fine too. Whatever you got. I just know if I do this, it's less. I have to cut. So this is just to add to the window, say the Flourish and Blotts window. So I'm just going to put glue all over that little ledge that I added and stack these. So there's my one that's kind of messed up, and then I'm going to stack him on top, kind of crooked. I don't know if you can see that. Oops. Okay, so there's that, and then here's my little Lockhart poster. I can't turn it too far because then it'll all fall off, but he's right there. I have a Shakespeare here we're going to put in there. And that's upside down. And if I add this one, you're not going to be able to see it. So I got an extra book. Okay. I'm going to let it dry for a minute, but I think it's okay. See the little books in the window and the Lockhart poster. So that's what we were going for. We're going to let that dry completely and bring our signs back over. Okay. So we're not using these unless we really feel the need. And these guys are dry enough to paint. So I guess I should have asked you guys what to paint before now, because now it's time. So we cut this out a little earlier when we cut out the chipboard. And then we want to cut a piece of foam board the same size. And then we're going to cut around the middle of the foam board. And I'm thinking this time let's do, and nothing precise, but let's leave like a, wait, am I painting the wrong side? Yes. This is the side, so this is the side that's inside, and we want that black. We can paint both sides black, it doesn't matter. Okay, so depending on the lights that you have, and I linked the lights that I'm using below, but I've also said that you can use fairy lights, and I'm going to walk you through how to kind of hide the fairy lights. Because you've already put, I hope you've already put the fairy lights under here, but if not, it's okay, because what you can do is you can put fairy lights down both sides, and then there'll be fairy lights on the top. You just need to make sure that your switch gets back up to the top or the back or the side or somewhere you can access it. But remember, whatever you put on the sides, you either have to cover it up with a book or there'd be a gap there, which kind of defeats the purpose of the whole book nook thing. Here, so put that up there with the signs to dry, and then you need parchment paper, because that's going to give you that soft glow. There we go. And I'm just going to cut it to size for this, and then we'll glue it on the, we'll tape it on the styrofoam one. Okay, so that we will use later, and it wants to curl up. Okay, so when that dries out, we'll deal with that. Now, we should probably paint the top. The inside doesn't really need to be painted, but we should probably paint this, because that's going to be showing on the outside. Okay, there's that. So we're just getting to the point where a whole bunch of little things are coming together. So Ollivanders and Fortescues. And when I tested this, my measurements were a little off. So we may have like a little alley or something. So I got an extra sign. Oops. Duh. Okay. Yeah, so there's a little extra room back here or up here or a little bit in between each one, however you want to do it. I think I'm going to split the difference and just leave it like right there. And first I'm going to cut out my pictures. So these are all for Flourish and Blotts. Okay, this one's Ollivander's and this one's Fortescue's. So chances are we're going to have to cut them down even more. Tap in there. Okay. So we can just go ahead and go all the way down the bottom, I think, with that one. Okay, and that looks good, and we'll just cover up that one, the middle there. I got two, and these are just copy and pasted from the internet. And I think these are from the Universal Studios. It says it's from Shutterstock. I didn't pay for it though. They're probably really low res images. So So, pick your lights. I'm using these ones that I have to string myself because these are flickery. So, but then I've used the fairy lights before. So either way, get your lights ready. I'm going to use 2 batteries because I want flickery lights and then I want separate daytime lights. So I got these 2 battery packs. I have flashing green, and these are pre-wired lights. These I got at Lighthouse LEDs. This one is empty. This one is just a solid gold. This one is a flashing green, but it looked too much like a Christmas tree, so I didn't use it. Ultra bright clear white is the one that I'm going to use, I think, for the top. So here's the fairy lights. If you're going to use fairy lights, put them in here, tape them down where you want them, cover them with parchment paper. Make sure they come out and you have enough to go back down the other side, or you'll have to use more fairy lights, and then you have some to sit in the top along with your this thing. This is I think I got these at the Dollar General or on sale at Michael's after the holidays. So that's how you do the fairy lights. I'm going to do these, it's going to be very similar. Now, one thing I noticed with these flashing yellow lights is it takes a lot. So I'm going to take my one, or you know, let's go ahead. I think I'm going to go ahead and use, I'll use fairy lights on the top because they're already here. And then I'll use these guys on the bottom. Let's do that. So you get to see a little bit of both. Now the thing is I'm not going to string the fairy lights through the buildings because I want all the buildings, well actually I want Florians, the bottom floor of Florians, to be white. So let's play with that. First thing I'm going to do is wire these yellow lights. And I want yellow lights on 2 levels of Ollivanders and at least 2 levels of Florians. And then I want a white light at the bottom. So here's my yellows. I need to get that white light back out. So you either have fairy light string from under here, you don't have anything, or if you went with my method, you have these wires. So let's play electrician. We need these wire stripper things. You can use an Exacto knife if you want. It's not the easiest thing in the world. And we need electrical tape. Take your wire, if you are pre-wiring, and strip off using the correct strippy thing, which I think this is 18. Is this 18 gauge? This is 20 gauge. Don't need that. And I'm stripping off, I don't know, about 1/2 inch. There we go. And then do the same to the ends of your pre-wired, they have resistors. Okay, it would have made it easier if I would have put 2 black wires under here, but that's okay. So I'm going to put all the negatives. I need my white light too, since he's going in here. I need to get some more white lights. This is the last one I have. And I gotta make sure, yeah, these must be, I'm gonna put all my black wires together on this side, and then I'll use, on this side I'll use the yellow wires, and I think that will work. So I just take all the light wires and the one over here and twist them together and then wrap them in tape. Now, if you were doing like something that was going to plug into the wall, you would want to get those wire sockets, but these little batteries that we're using do not give enough energy to do anything. I can actually hold it in my hand to test the batteries. That's how much like lack of electricity there is in here. Where is my tape? I'm looking for my electrical tape. Okay, so once those are all twisted together, I just fold them back down. And then tape. make sure that there's no wire showing, basically. That's all the black sides. Now we're going to go to the other side. Now these yellow wires are going to hook to the battery pack. Make sure that's off. Actually, there is no on-off, so strip the ends of this, just like we did before. And the positives are going to come up to the battery. Oh, there is the on-off. Okay, so it's on. So the battery, and I think the negatives will go to this side of the battery. And let's see, I got one flashy thing here. One, two, three. Okay, so they're all running. And you see what I say about the power? Like, you can just hold on to it. Okay, so these are all going to connect to the battery. On this side. I just had it, you guys. This was the positive, right? All the positive, and this is the negative. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach this because there should be enough wire there. Well, I don't know if this one's going to be able to get to where it's going because this one needs to be all the way down here. And this sits on top. So, well, yeah, he should be okay. I think he'll be okay. Let's do this. Just gauging, if I had to put another wire in there to jump the two together, I could have. Okay, again, I'm just going to twist these together. We can always take it apart if we have to. I prefer not to. Get another piece of electrical tape. Alright, there we go. And then we can test it again by 1, 2, 3. It looks like they're all going. Okay. Now this one, we can like tape these in place. You can use whatever tape you want. I'm going to go ahead and use electrical tape because I got it right here. So for Florian Fortescue's, this red guy, this is the blue light. He's going to go all the way down in the parlor. And I'm putting the tape up just a little high because I don't want to see that black tape, especially on this lighter color. And then let's do one here, which is going to be, well, should I do, let's just do the second floor. Let's just do the second floor. see, these two guys. Those guys could stay over there. So the second floor light, let's put on the second floor, right there. So you see where there's going to be one here, and then the bright one going to be down there, which is fine. And then I'm going to cut another little piece of tape and get this out of the way. We'll put him like over here. Nobody's going to see him in the dark bedroom. Okay, now for Ollivander's, I want one right in the middle. It's kind of the doorway. And then we'll do one like on the second floor, so pretty far, like kind of right where, well, we'll put it off to the side though, because then they'll be in one of the windows. Now, the trick is to take parchment paper and cover these lights. So one, it reflects, and two, it doesn't look like there's a light bulb in there. And you can either wrap it around the light, or you can tape it to the light onto the surface, but you're going to cover some of your decorations if you do that. So I'm going to try to wrap him around. The problem with parchment paper is, of course, nothing sticks to parchment paper. So you have to take tape and wrap it all the way around. Okay, so that should be, oh, I have to connect it to the other side, which is here. Okay, everything's working. Oh, and then I'm gonna get some clear tape, and you just want to make sure that you tape all the way around the wax paper tightly, and then we need to tape the part of the tape that's on the wax paper and part of the light, because the wax paper is just going to want to slide off. Some Fabri-Tac in this bitty bottle, if it lets me use it, and it's not going to, so we're going to switch to Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive. Okay, we're going to do the same with Florins here. Okay, and then I'm going to give them a little squirt between too, so the two buildings are glued together. Got a bit of a problem here with these steps. They're sitting oops, yeah, don't do that. They're sitting off of the ground, which is okay. We'll fix it. I'm going to let those dry. Let's glue some signs. I have parchment paper here, a scrap from what I did before, and we have Flourish Fortescues, so let's go ahead and do that one because we know where that goes. And let's just use a thread. So glue on the sign. Glue on the hanger. We'll do two. And you can actually wrap the thread around the hanger. I was going to wrap it around, but the wrapping's not working, so it's just going to sit on top. Oh. Okay, while everything is drying, let's make some cauldrons. I have some black Sculpey. Is it Sculpey? Crystal sells it in her store. It's the stuff that you have to bake. And then somewhere in this mess, I have part of a piece of jewelry wire. That I'll find eventually, but let me show you how to make these little cauldrons. I don't want to mess up my space. We'll use this piece of paper. So grab a little tiny ball of clay and roll it up into a ball. We're gonna do a bigger one and then like 5 little ones. I'll find that piece of wire. Yeah, here it is. This is the other end of that eye hook that I cut off with a pair of wire cutters. Okay, so we're gonna roll some balls. These may be a little too small here. No, these are okay. These, one of them is going to go next to the Leaky Cauldron. And the other ones are going to be stacked in a wiggly pattern. So here's our balls, and then we're going to make a big long snake. My fingers were clean. See, they don't stay clean for very long when I'm in my craft room. It's a bit wet. It's sticking to me. Okay, let's see if that's small enough. Okay, so I have this pointing tool. It's actually what I use to score with. But you take your little ball and you push the big side down in the middle and you just roll it around. And it's going to give you this little odd shape. And then I just kind of roll it between my fingers back into this shape. And at the same time hollow it out with this. Okay. And then you squish it. Just try and get a circular shape, and then you take this snake and I'm going to cut it a little long. I'd rather it be long than short. I don't know where, oh, my Exacto knife is right there. Okay, and then I'm going to snake it out just a little bit more, see if I can get it a little thinner. And I'm just going to take and put this snake right along the rim to make a cauldron. connect the two. Cut there. And I just kind of dab it down. And we'll make this side so it's not the side that faces the opening. And then I just squish it down just a tiny bit. And there you go. And then I take this little tiny piece that I cut off, roll it a little bit more, cut it in half, and attach one side and bend it and attach the other one. This is the big one, so this is the only one I'm going to make little handles for. See it? And then we're going to do it the other way. And then we can make some little tiny feet. Okay. 1, 3 per. 2, 3. And I'm going to roll those into tiny, tiny balls. And then just touch the cauldron to the feet. There we go. Hi everybody. So before we start putting this guy on, we need to put the signs on, because if I put him on the wall, then either everything will be hanging vertical and it'll take forever for the signs to hang, or one of them will be hanging upside down and we'll have to do it, you know, one at a time, and who wants to do that, right? So there's a couple of suggestions, maybe only one suggestion that's not obvious. I'm using a thicker glue for this. A Fabri-Tac would be okay, but I think this dries quicker. So let's look to see what we got here. I have the ice cream sign, and I only made him one high. So he's gonna go, I have, Ollivanders already has his sign, and I don't want it in the same spot. And then I have a lantern too that I have to hang on Ollivanders, so the lantern will probably go here or here. Let's go ahead and put this side down low, close to the sign, or the hangy sign. So you just make a line with your glue. This is way back there, nobody's ever gonna see it. And then my suggestion is to glue the side down if it reaches. I don't think this one is going to look right if I do that. First I have to trim it because I have a string. Trim, and then we'll put the sign down. Now if he hangs funny, we can try and fix it later. I have to give him and by hanging funny I mean like if I have the string wrong and you can't tell what's on the face because it's sideways or crooked, we can actually glue the side of the sign down to the building. So I just ran a bead of glue along there. Sorry, you cannot see. I ran a bead of glue right down Florian's and then stuck that bracket there. So let's do another one. I have I have one for the Leaky Cauldron and 1, 2, 3 more. So let's put another one. Let's put another one over here. Let's do it high because it's gonna get pretty busy. Let's go ahead. We'll put it right here on this side. So let me move you down here a little bit. A little bit further. Okay. So you run a bead of glue right there, and then you stick the sign in the glue. You hold it there just a second. If you get a thick glue, it shouldn't take long. If it's taking too long, you don't want to hold it anymore, just grab something to lean it up against. Or for this one, you could put it right up against this side of this building here, the windows. That would work too. Okay, and I glued the chain so it's really stiff. And I'll show you these from the side when I can move, when I can lift them up. But right now, if I lift them up, they'll just fall off. So let's not do that. Move him out of the way. Okay, we have the Leaky Cauldron, which is going to go right next to the Leaky Cauldron door. And on this one I used the jump ring to hold the cauldron on. Oh, it stuck to my finger. I may have to get something to hold this up. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And then this one's pretty neat because it's a double sign. I had a triple sign on my other one, but the signs were smaller. So, and that's just thread sandwiched between there. The one that I had problems with staying flat was the triple sign. So let's put him, this is a nice flat spot. We'll put him right there. I have a feeling I'm going to have a little bit more problem with him because he's heavy. There we go. Just till that's sticking straight up. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys didn't see that. There he is. And then we'll put this one down here. That just gives you some variety when you're looking in there. And as I was saying before, texture, 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 texture. So, and then when we come back, we'll put the lantern on. but I already put it was one of those eye hooks. Is it eye hook? No. It's a real long, I think it's an eye pen. Yes, I put an eye pen in there. Cut it off, put an eye pin in there and glued it. So I'm going to stick another eye pin in Ollivander's and just do it that way. And it's already set enough to leave it there. So we had to do that before we put this one on the wall and before we can put the rest of it together. So stay tuned. Alright everybody, the signs are dry. They they dried overnight. So we have little signs, we have the little books in the window. It looks super cute. And now we can get the wall ready. So this is the wall that goes behind Flourish and Blotts and Leaky Cauldron. And it is going to go outside to outside. So I'm going to go ahead and put gussets on the outside. And the gussets again are like 1/2 inch pieces of paper or 1 inch pieces of paper folded in half. And this allows me to attach the wall to the book nook. So outside to outside. Okay, now we have to take into consideration that the ground is there. So I'm going to mark the inside of my box. Whoops. Where the building needs to sit on top of the ground. Okay. So that we can place our pictures. Now, let's get our lights and remember that the lights on this side were connected to the positive, the red wire, and the lights on this side need to be connected to the negative. So on this side, the positive is going to go into this over here. I think. I mean, if I'm doing this wrong, then if I'm making it more complicated, then it's necessary. You guys need to let me know. I went ahead and parchmented the lights. And I cut this one off really short when I was pulling the wires because the wires are so thin that you have to be careful. Or you just pull the damn wires off. Okay. So I'm going to test it to make sure that I have it right in my head. I'm going to take all the yellow sides, which I'm assuming are the positive sides, or does it really matter? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to bunch those together, and then I'm going to take all the black sides, here we go, bunch those together, and then we're going to make a complete circuit. Make sure my battery pack is on, which is yellow wires here, and black wires here. Yep, that's what we needed. Okay, so I got them all bunched up. We'll go ahead and finish this off. I'm only going to put it on this side though yet. Get my electrical tape. Oh, there's a little book in there. Got stuck to the tape. I feel like I should have more wire here. Of course, after I have everything stuck together. Okay, yeah, that makes me feel better. Less likely to fall apart. And I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 5 of these for this side. Okay, here we go. I guess I should have checked my length before I did this because that's where I would have added the length. I guess I could add it to this side. Okay, I'm good with that. If I need to, I can put another wire from here to the jigger over there. While I'm waiting for that, I'm not waiting for anything, but I do want to back my this is the top thing that we made and painted. I want to put the parchment on the back side of it. I'm going to use some really sticky double-sided tape, and then I'll probably tape it around too, since parchment is not sticky. Made not to stick. Makes it a bit tricky. So this is score tape. I'm going to set this aside once I put it together and kind of see how how it does. If the parchment sticks to it or if I need more adhesive. Like the wraparound tape like we did on the lights. And then let's go ahead and attach the wall to the bottom part of diagonally. Oh, and last night I finally baked my clay pots, so those are ready too. And just the bottom for right now because I want to be able to put these lights on without very much hassle. Okay, so let's mark, I have 5 lights. Let's put definitely one here. And I'm putting them a little bit, I'm putting the X's a little bit above where I want them. I didn't think there was a window there. Let's put one here. 1, 2, 3. We'll put one here between these 2 windows. And then do we want another one here behind the Leaky Cauldron? I think that one's way too high. Yeah. That one should be okay. Or do I want another one in this window? Probably the Leaky Cauldron. We'll put one here. Okay, so we're just going to tape the lights to these. Make sure all the black wires have to go to the top, so I'm going to tape those together. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And you can kind of see, I think they're pretty much all going to be the same, so give me some tape cut. I'm going to try not to cover the pictures. There's one. Oh, I had 2 over here. I'm going to put one up. 2. Maybe we won't have to redo or add any more wire. We'll see. It's not my favorite thing to do. 3, 4, and the last one's supposed to go up here, which is going to be closest to the top. Okay, so once we put this on, we will have, I think I'm going to add a wire. Yay, okay, I didn't want to, but I don't want it to be so tight you can't move it to where you want it to be. So this bunch of wires I'm going to tape down in the middle because I don't want those extremely visible. You can always color the yellow wires black if you want, but I don't think you can see them that well, and even if you could, you couldn't tell what they are. Okay. Maybe just a little bit more tape. And if you're using the fairy lights, only the fairy lights, because I'm going to use fairy lights too, then you want to basically what you're going to do is either if you didn't use this method by wrapping them around, then basically you just put the fairy lights on top the box and you shove them down on both sides. You just put them in there, tape them all up, and then, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Here we go. And mess that piece of tape up. No, I fixed it. Okay. Just moving the wires out of the, if we move the wires out of the picture range, it should be good. I just got this 20 gauge wire from online site. It's super cheap. And it cuts a lot easier than the wire lights, or I don't know, strips, I guess. Okay. So right now, until I get the Flourish and Blotts in there, I'm not going to finish off the wiring. Not finishing off the wiring until everything's put in there, I think, because it's going to close the box up completely. Okay. Make sure we get all the wires. I'm going to twist them together. Twist this guy in there with them. I fold mine over. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not, but to me it feels like it makes a better bond. Tape them up, make sure that none are showing. Okay, and then this goes up here. I'll tape that down again off of where the picture is, because you know that's where the windows are. If there's a picture, just assume there's a window. Okay, that gives it a little bit cleaner look anyways, just having this one wire going up. Okay, so now we can glue on dude here, and I put that brace, so I need to cut a piece of this brace out about halfway through, and then I have to cut part of the ceiling out too, which is not a big deal because it's pushed up against the top of the box. You can't see it. Why did we make it? I don't know. Bracing makes it more stable. Okay, so now that's sitting flat, and then just a little chink right here. If you want it to be more uniform, you can use like a punch or something. Like I said, you are not going to see it. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue all around and on the bottom. So the bottom piece here, anything that touches, I got glue, and then all along here. And if you think that it's necessary, you can always use gussets like we did with the box to close the box. I'll go ahead and do my brace strip and this side. And then we're going to close the box so that it is sitting the way it's going to sit when it's done. Be prepared to get crap on your fingers. Oh, okay, just drop it, that's fine. And then lay it down so that we have maximum contact here. And then I'm going to put something under here so it doesn't bend my box. But not under the signs. Alright. And then we let it dry. I'm going to work, so it's going to dry for 8 hours. Hello everybody, we are so very close to this becoming a finished product here. So we have, the one thing that I don't like is you can see these wires through the Flourish and Blotts window. So let's move those over. Maybe get a piece of tape in there. And it was kind of stuck to the bottom, but not enough that I couldn't get it off. So I unstuck it and opened it up because this wasn't all the way down. So fix that. And fix these wires. Just the little things. I'm going to get my finger in there. Let's try this method. Okay. There we go. And so it will look like that. This is what we have so far, minus the signs hanging down. So we have just a few things left. We have the lighting, of course. We have the cauldrons, some signs, and the mirror, and we're done unless you want to finish the outside in some other way. So okay, so let's make sure the lights work. One. Are we lighting up? Oh, okay, yep. Okay, they're all lit up, so that's good. Now, I'm going to go ahead first. Let's do some aging on our little cauldrons we did. Just details, guys, little details. Tiny bit of paint, white, and then I got my new pewter paint that just came in from Lumiere. brand new. Go ahead and shake it since and I'll just use the top because it's got plenty of paint on it. Nice pewter, since all first year students need one pewter cauldron. Standard size. Okay, so I have one cauldron. I may have to move the thing out of the back. That goes right next to the Leaky Cauldron. And I don't want it like, I still want to keep some black because it's definitely like rusty, antique-y, used, dirty. So I'll put some black and then, or some pewter. And then these, if you didn't see me, I just used the other half of that eye pen that I used on the lantern. Okay. And then for these, I think we'll use some Fabri-Tac. This is like, the signs in these cauldrons are the items that I fear will get damaged if it's thrown about too much. I'm thinking about putting these up on my Etsy, but shipping them, I don't know. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, and getting these into shot may be a little hard here. I'm going to take my little lantern. Okay, I took an eye pen and threaded it through the top of the lantern. I glued it in there. It's pretty solid. Take another eye pen, cut it off short, like a 1/2 inch, because it's going into the Ollivander's building. And just thread this on. And then we're just going to push these two together to make sure that it doesn't fall back off. Just like making jewelry, okay? Find where you want it. We can put it really close to, whoops, we can put it really close to the edge here, which would be nice because you'd be able to see it. And I'm going to get, I have this pokey tool, but any sharp object will do. We're going to pick where we want it. I'm going to put it right here. Go through the foam. And then, I have no idea where I just made that. Oh, I see it. Okay. I'm going to put some glue on the hole I just made. And again, got that glue on there, it's not going to make that big of a difference on an item like this. If it was a nice clean item, like a contemporary item, I may be worried about it, but this is okay. Okay, push it in there as far as you'd like it. I like it to hang out just a little bit. And I think that's I think that would be pretty good. And then I have some pewter paint on here, and I have some white showing, so we'll add some detail, or I don't know, some like distressing, I guess, with my pewter paint. Let that dry completely before you touch it. Alright, let's finish her up. I have the, oh, whatever this thing is, lantern hanging. I got some cauldrons kind of painted, and I have my mirror. These are, these come two in a package. They're 6 by 9 inch Tim Holtz Ideology mirrors. And I love like this. They have a protective coating on them. So you don't want to peel that off until you're ready to use it. And we're just going to put that together like we put everything else together. So, yeah, this is it, the finale. And then we get to put the front on and the top on. And I think I'll make a little cranny, a little nook for the battery to sit in. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is close it up. I'll put a fair amount of glue on there. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so that gives me an idea of where all my little cauldrons are going to go. I moved it all the way this way because the light is coming from above over here, where on this side it comes from the side, so you guys can see. The single cauldron is going to go right next to the door. Single cauldron is going to go right next to the door of the Leaky Cauldron. So right below the sign and in front of the steps there. And then this stack of cauldrons kind of sits towards the back. And for this stack, if we can put it where it hits the bottom and maybe a side, that would help. So I think I can angle it so it hits like the Flourish and Blotts window. Let me look through the front to make sure. Yep, is that an angle that we want? Yeah, that's okay. So I'm just going to come back in and put a dab of glue where it's going to hit. Okay. And then push it. Okay, and that's really all we need for the inside. So the inside's done. It's looking good. Now we're going to place this screen on top. And what this does is it does the same thing as a light box does. So okay, so this is going to go here, and then the fairy lights sit on top of this, and it'll make it glow inside. I may not even need all these fairy lights, we'll see. But before I glue down, since this is new, I'm not sure. This was the top, but I really wanted somewhere to put my switches. So I may have to think about this for a little bit. Let's go ahead and glue this down. And I'm just going to use my strips. I should use that one over there. 2. And shorty for the front. 3. We'll get them all sealed up here. And that, once I get that mirror on the back, it's going to also block any extra light. And let's go ahead and do some rewiring here. And then I can just pull this right down. Okay. We're gonna put the other hinge thing on this side so that when we put that mirror in there, it just slides right down on top. And then we're going to put, while those dry, because you don't want to put the you don't want to put it on there while it's still wet. We're going to attach this to the front. You have about a 1/2 inch strip at the top. I'll show you. And I think I'll just put a piece of wood there. This 1/2 inch strip here. There, how do you like it? Okay, I think we'll just let all that glue dry. And I'm going to wash my hands so that I can deal with that mirror without getting glue fingers on it. Okay, so do the most gratifying thing in the world. Peel off this paper. And under it is a real nice mirror. I'm not going to show you because you'll just see the camera, but you can see how well it reflects my hand. Then you're going to pull all these hinges back, put the mirror in, and then put the glue on the hinges. And make sure that it's a real tight fit. You don't want it loose. I'll add more up here. Okay. Not hitting. There we go. I was not up against the wall on this side. Now I am. Okay, so let's see the effect that we have so far. You see how it looks like it goes on forever? Because we added that mirror. You'll never be at this angle where you can see my face. Okay everybody, we're super dry, overnight dry, and I am really happy with this. I think it came out better than the other one. I'm going to put him aside, and we're going to work on our little pockets for the light or battery holders. I'm going to tape these two wires together and put an indent in there, and then I'll go ahead. Well, if I do that, then they won't be able to pull them out. So I think I need to pull the wires out some more. There, like that. So they need to kind of, these wires, that doesn't need to be in there. These wires need to come out some more. So I'm just going to snip, or we can hole punch. That would probably be more finished. Let's get a regular hole punch. I'm going to hole punch here. What? Yeah, that'll be fine. It's like a plastic, so let me take a strong hand there. So I put that in there. And then I'll go ahead and tape these together so that we don't have any breaking. And I think I'm going to tape this here a little long. And then I think all we have left is to just do some final painting and finishing up. I wanted to put that board on the front. Where the Styrofoam didn't quite cover. Uh-oh. Make sure it just gets a good grip there. Okay, I'm going to show you my new tool. So, I have this piece of basswood or balsa wood or whatever it is, and I just want to put it up at the top here to like kind of finish that off. So it's softwood. I could just use the Exacto knife, but I want to play with my new tool. Oh my god, that was nice. Okay. I'm going to glue that right there and then paint it with some black or probably dark brown to make it look like wood. If I was going to leave it black, I just left it the way it was. It would be neat to like put a little plaque on there or something, but I don't have a plaque maker. Yeah, there we go. Just finish it off a little bit and then I'll paint that with the dark brown. I'm going to paint up here with the black, the inside with the black as soon as my hinge dries. Just do some trimming up of the sides and it's all done. So you guys, this is it. We have a completed thing here, and we'll do a little video tour once I get it all done, and then I'll do a separate tour. So yeah, I'll be right back.